Have you wanted to start a high ticket Shopify dropshipping business, but you don't know where to start? Well, be sure to smash the like button because in this video, I will teach exactly that. It'll be an overview of how to get started as a complete beginner in high ticket Shopify dropshipping. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I used to sell on eBay, Amazon, and Facebook a lot more than I do now. But in recent months, I have moved primarily into Shopify. And the main reason being is that it is much more long-term, much more customizable, and in my opinion, just an all-around better business model, although it is a little bit more challenging to get started. But thankfully, I did all the challenging parts for you, so you can just go ahead and get started on your own with the help of this video. So if you want a longer version of this video, I just wanted to say, we did put out a free Shopify dropshipping mini course down below. It's about an hour and a half long, and all we ask for is your email to get started. That being said, this video will be more of an overview of that video and that course. And if you want more, check it out down below in the description and also in the pinned comment. With that being said, let's go into my computer. I don't want to drag this on for too long, and I'll get started explaining how to get started with high ticket Shopify dropshipping step by step. All right, so here we are inside of my computer, and I'm going to start off with a quick slide about why do we want to start high ticket Shopify dropshipping. You've been following me for a while, like I said, been doing a lot of eBay, Amazon, Facebook in the past. Why am I starting, or why am I really focusing on Shopify dropshipping? So one thing is it's going to be contacting real suppliers, which is going to be the most legitimate form of dropshipping. We're not retail dropshipping, which isn't allowed on any platform really. We're not doing Walmart onto eBay, Walmart onto Amazon, Walmart onto Facebook, anything like that. We're contacting real, not even suppliers, mainly real brands. We're getting deals with the actual brands themselves. And that's that. So we moved it on to real, I already said it, real agreements with real suppliers, real brands. We're contacting them, we're talking to them, we're building relationships over time, and we're getting to sell their items legally, allowably. Usually they're much more willing to let you sell it on your website than if you called them up and said, hey, can I sell it on Amazon or can I sell it on eBay? Again, there's gonna be less fees with Shopify, which doesn't always mean that it's going to be cheaper, because now you do have to actually pay for your own advertisement. There's gonna be less rules. I'm not saying that there's no rules, but there is gonna be less rules, and there's gonna be less bans. I'm not gonna say that there's no bans. I've heard of Shopify stores getting banned. It's just not very common at all. You know, I'll never say never in the game of e-commerce. And again, you'll build an actual brand. You'll have something that eventually you build a brand, you'll be able to sell it. You can do whatever you want with it in the future, where with a retail dropshipping store, you're not building really anything except for just sales and money online. And why high ticket? High ticket is going to be less sales and more money. You can sell a $3,000 item and make $500, $400, $500, $600, and you only have to do one of those a day, one every other day, and you'll be good. And the overall goal here is going to be freedom. You want time and financial freedom, and I believe that high ticket Shopify dropshipping can bring it to you. So first thing you want to do, let's talk about the first step here, is you want to find out the type of store that you want to be selling. We have two different types of stores. One's going to be niche, one will be general. Personally, I like niche, but you can do whatever you want. I'll just go over some of the benefits and the drawbacks of each. So if you have a niche store, you're going to have more targeted traffic. You're going to have higher conversions. When people come to your store, they're going to say, hey, well, I wanted this, and whatever your items that you're selling on your store are, oh, but here's a different brand of the same exact item. Oh, I like this instead, I'll buy that. Where you have a general store, maybe you don't have two brands of the same type of item. You just have a bunch of different brands from a bunch of different niches. It's going to be better, more targeted traffic, higher conversion, and in my personal opinion, the best thing about it is that you can pick a passion. If this is something that you really like, and in the free mini course, I use the example of massage chairs. Say you just love massage chairs, or I'll use the example of like 3D printers. Say that's something you really like, then it's gonna be less like work and more like fun when you're actually building your store around it, and you'll know a lot more about it. The drawback is gonna be that there's less potential suppliers. There's gonna be only a certain amount of massage chair suppliers or 3D printer suppliers as compared to if you just had a general store with unlimited suppliers. And again, you really need to know your stuff. You'll be getting asked very specific questions most likely. And again, it could limit you in what you can do, what you can sell, because maybe there's not enough suppliers out there. And maybe there's a lot of people selling the same suppliers. It could be a little saturated. Now, again, the opposite is true for general stores. It's pretty much just vice versa. You're gonna have endless suppliers. That's a benefit. You're gonna have much more potential for growth where you can list as many suppliers and items as you want. You can have thousands of items, thousands of suppliers. I mean, it's a lot, but hundreds of suppliers. And you're gonna need less expertise because you'll probably get less specific questions. Not saying you won't get a lot of questions, but it'll probably be a little bit less specific, and you won't have to know everything because you have just a ton of items, and people will probably realize that. The drawbacks are gonna be you're gonna have less targeted traffic. Say somebody wanted one specific 3D printer, they come to your store, they clicked on your ad, they like it, but they're like, maybe I want a different brand. You might not have that brand because you're not focused on one specific thing. They might wanna leave. You're usually gonna have a lower conversion rate, which means however many people come to your website, the percentage that actually buy, it'll probably be lower. And you could get bored of it if it's not interesting. Me personally, I don't like to do anything that doesn't interest me. If I was just in it for the money, I'd be doing something probably completely different, but I'm not. Like I need to be interested by what I'm doing. The money comes secondarily. So if I'm not interested in it, I probably won't care, and it probably will be boring. Somebody calls me up and asks me a question, I probably won't really care to learn it. All right, so next, what are we gonna be doing? We're gonna be researching our product niche/niches. Again, I like niche stores, so that's what I'm gonna be really basing this video off of. You're gonna be looking for what things to look for. We're talking about high ticket dropshipping here. Some people say over $250 or over $500. I like over $1,000. I don't advertise things really less than $1,000. I do have items on my store less than $1,000, but I probably won't run ads at them. They might be something that somebody finds organically or, finds after coming to my store and looking for other things. You want to be looking for the longevity of the niche. An example that I use a lot is going to be like fidget spinners. They got up, they became really popular, although they're not high ticket. This is just an example. And then they're not really popular anymore. You don't want to get into that niche. You don't want to get into a niche that rises in popularity really quickly and falls off, because then you're just going to be wasting your time. You can check all this with Google Trends. I show how to do it all inside of the free mini course that I explained at the beginning. Seasonality, you don't want seasonality, or something like pool products or whatever, where it's going to be like popular over time, just once, like in a certain time frame, then go down, certain time frame. You don't want that. You want consistency over the whole year, longevity of the entire niche. You want to have less competition on your products and brands, and I go over how to look into that in the free mini course. And basically, you want to have like less than 10 or 15 people selling the same brands as you on Google, because if you don't, then if there's more, then people are going to be running ads, and it's probably not going to be worth it. The average cost per click is going to be too high. You want to check if the products are in demand. It's pretty much the same thing as checking the longevity and the seasonality. You really want to see, you can check this on pretty much any platform. If you look on Amazon or whatever, these items will probably be sold there. You want to see, are there like lots of reviews? Are there people with, are there items with recent reviews? Are they making a lot? And you can also check this inside of your Google Ads once you set that up, of how many searches per month you're at that keywords actually getting. And then you also want to check for, is it a red flag type product? Certain products like gun related things, you're not even allowed to sell on Google or advertise with Google. Other things that I always talked about in the past are going to be like breakable items, things that are fragile. I don't like selling that stuff. If somebody buys, I read something recently where somebody talked about how they sold, it was like a very expensive table, but the table was like, top was made of glass, and it literally showed up like 3 different times with a broken top. You don't want to be dealing with that. One, because it's not going to be a great customer experience, but also because it's going to be a huge pain in your ass, honestly. And you don't want to deal with that over time. So that's that for researching your product and niches. Next, you want to talk about finding suppliers for your store. There's many places that you can look for in order to find suppliers. One of the best ways that a lot of people start off with is going to be looking on retail sites. If you look at Wayfair.com, the majority of Wayfair is dropshipped items. So if you type in, massage chair on Wayfair, a lot of those brands are going to be dropshipped. So therefore, you can go look at those brands, find those brands' websites, and contact them yourself. There's things to look for on the websites. They might have applications. They might have a way to email them. But as I mentioned down here, the best way is to call them, and I'll talk about more of that later on in the slide. You also could go Walmart, Amazon, Home Depot, anything like that. There's gonna be lots of brands on there. A lot of the brands sell on these websites nowadays, but you have to realize that they have to mark their products up either more because of the fact that these platforms take fees, or they're gonna have a map price, which means that you can't sell it for less than that specific price, which is going to be advantageous to you. So even though your website, why would people buy from me? It's probably because you will most likely have the same price as everybody else as long as people aren't breaking MAP pricing. You can search on Google itself. You can do a good Google search with a well-targeted keyword or something like that. And that is one way to find suppliers, but I don't think it's the best. I think the best way would be to search on Google Shopping yourself. If you go inside of Google, you do a search, and then it says shopping right there at the top, or it'll say like images, videos, then shopping or something like that. You click on shopping, and you can just look at the brands on the left-hand side, and usually you'll be able to find, right away a good amount of brands. From there, you can go to their website, try to contact them, and go from there. One thing I've always talked about, again, is trade shows. I've talked about this a lot in the past, and now it still applies. I'd say it's not the best way, probably not the easiest way, but one thing about it is that when you go out of your way, like most people teach, and there's other people that teach this, teach to go on Wayfair. So those brands are probably gonna be rather saturated. But if you find something that's not on Wayfair, that's high ticket, fits to your niche and fits what you want, then that's probably gonna be a lot better of a fit than something on Wayfair, or there's probably gonna be less people selling. So trade shows, directories, things like that, where there's probably gonna be less people that go out of their way to do it because it's harder, will probably be the best way for you to find suppliers. And then here, like I said before, call your suppliers. It's gonna be much more personal. You can talk to them. You don't have to have a script. All you really have to say is, hey, it's so-and-so from, or hey, it's Tom from whatever store my store name is. I came across your items recently when I was searching. I really think that they'd fit for our store, and I was wondering how to apply to become a dealer of your products. That's really it. The conversation will become much more organic after that. Maybe they'll forward you to a sales rep. Maybe that person knows exactly what they're talking about and will deal with you right there. And that's pretty much that. It's pretty simple, and it's not too challenging. It's much easier. You don't have to go back and forth via email multiple times. And a lot of times they'll ask for your email at the end, they'll send you things, and then from there, you're already much more in the door than if you just didn't call them. There is ones that have applications on their website, and if I'm feeling lazy, I'll do that first. If they don't get back to me within 1 or 2 days, then I'm just gonna call them. If I'm feeling really not lazy, then I'll just call them right off the bat, because it is by far the best way to go about doing this. All right, so after we get those suppliers for our store, we've been accepted by suppliers and everything like that. Well, you do want to list the items onto the store first. I don't really have that mentioned on the slide. I think that that's pretty obvious. You want to make your store. I can't go into that in detail in this video. I talk about it a bit more inside of the free training course down below. But again, there's so much to it that that's going to have to be inside of obviously either another course or just more videos down the line. This is just the bare minimum basics of how to get started as a beginner and what you want to be doing. So after that, we're going to be running traffic to our store. How many ways are there to run traffic? There's infinite ways to run traffic to your store. So many people get stuck and that you have to run ads, you have to run Facebook ads or whatever. And I'm going to say, hey, I suggest you start with Google. But there's so many other ways to do it. There's so many other platforms. I got contacted by like a news outlet, like an actually large media outlet the other day to run advertisement on their daily email blasts. Like I've been contacted. You could do Instagram influencers. You could do TikTok influencers. It really depends on what you're selling and how it fits properly with whatever the platform is or however. So basically more is, there's a bajillion ways to advertise your store, but the easiest way to get started, and I know I don't always say the easiest is the best way to go, but for advertising, the most consistent, tried and true method is going to be that you're doing some form of a Google Shopping campaign. So Google Shopping is basically if you do a search for, say, massage chairs, and then at the very top of that search on Google, it'll say sponsored, and it'll show you a bunch of pictures of massage chairs. That's gonna be you right there. So you're gonna pop up first. If it's very targeted for what the person's searching, then there's a high likelihood or a likelihood that they will click. It's not a guaranteed click because maybe they just want to go look at the links down below or something like that, but it is a good way to get a lot of traffic. So that's a Google Shopping campaign. You can set it up. It's really not that challenging because you don't have to really target keywords. Like it just does it on its own. And the only thing you really want to do is set up negative keyword lists. And at that point in time, there's strategies behind it, which I can talk more about in future videos, but that's pretty much that. It's very simple to set up. Also, even easier, you could set up a Google Smart Shopping campaign. That's where Google does the shopping campaign for you and also pushes your ads to different websites and different blogs and things that are similar in your niche that have Google AdWords enabled on them. The biggest drawback about these types of ads is that they don't actually show you what keywords or anything that you're getting impressions or clicks for. So yes, from everything I've read and seen, they might actually convert better than your regular Google Shopping campaign. It's probably easier to get set up, but you won't get any actual info or data in order to run your Google text or search ads later or anything like that, because you don't actually know what you are getting clicks for. You don't know what keyword made you the sales. You don't know really anything except just Google's doing it for you and keeping all of their data. So what else can you do? There's the Google free product listings, and that's basically if they just click on the Google Shopping, they go below the sponsored listings. It's all free listings down below. It's free. You'll make some sales off of it. I'm not gonna say that you're gonna get a ton of sales or that's the way that you should go, but why not set it up? And then also you want to set up eventually a Google retargeting campaign where, they clicked on your shopping ads, maybe they spent a specific amount of time on your website, then you can add them to a list or a group, and then at that point in time you can retarget them. Or you can just say, hey, anybody that clicked on my ads and is searching for the same thing again, I'm just going to retarget them because they're much warmer traffic than if somebody hadn't already clicked on your ads because they've already searched for it multiple times. And then from there, hopefully you made some sales. You run some ads. You want to aim for a 1 to 2% conversion rate. Again, right when you start, you're going to be running ads at a bunch of different brands, a bunch of different items. Most likely, you're probably not going to have a very high conversion rate. You'll probably have a rather low conversion rate. From there, you find which items are selling. You stop running ads at the other ones. If you run a good amount of money at specific items and none of them sell, you're running ads at the wrong thing, which I highly doubt it is the biggest issue, or it's just that they're not high selling items. At that point, you want to not run ads at those items so you're not wasting money. Then you run more money at the items that are selling, and then at that point in time, you'll probably start increasing your conversion rate. So the industry standard that a lot of people say for high ticket dropshipping stores is going to be between 1 and 2%. You can obviously get higher than that. You can have much lower than that. But I think it really does, the biggest thing that it depends on selling or targeting more of the items that are selling and weeding out the ones that aren't selling. So you want to pick the winning products / brands. Sometimes there's specific items within specific brands that sell very well for whatever reason it may be. It might be price point, just perceived value of that item for the price. Maybe it's just, I don't know, the best item that it is. But also there might just be some brands that people just don't buy. I have one brand that specific type of item sells very well from other brands, but I cannot get it to sell with this one brand. It might be because it's less known of a brand, because it doesn't have very many reviews, and elsewhere, even if I was to put reviews on my website or have reviews for it, it's nowhere. It's not on Amazon. It's not really anywhere. So I think it's a less known brand. That could be the issue why. After that point, you want to be scaling, with either more ad spend or raising the cost per click of every single item. And if you don't understand this, you're going to have to watch individual videos on Google Shopping in general or Google Shopping ads, because I can't cover it all inside of this video. And then you want to make changes to your listings to increase your click-through rate. So think about it. If you go to, and you'll see this all the time if you're researching other Shopify stores, where people are listing items, all they do is they take the description that the supplier gives them, they put it in there, they take the images, they put it there, they take the title, they put it there, and that's it. And it just looks like a pretty cookie cutter description. Then you go to the next person's store and they did the same thing. That's not making you stand out from the crowd. That's not making anything any different. Where if you go to some of these, there's one called, it's Magic Spoon. It's like a cereal company, and I believe their website's on Shopify. And if you look at their website, it's just so much different than what a typical, you go to the website, you see the description, you see the pictures, black and white. Like if you look at their website, you'll see that they have images, they have videos, they have colorfulness, they have like design. I'm not saying you have to go all out on your design, but I'm saying if you stand out or make your listing specific or just stick out from others, that will definitely increase your conversion rate. So that's one other thing. Another thing to do to fine tune your store is email marketing campaigns. If you don't have email marketing set up, you're going to be collecting people's emails. Why not retarget those emails? Once you have them, it's pretty much free at that point. From there, you're always going to be wanting to find more suppliers, list more items, testing. Does this supplier work this way? Does this work better? Do these items sell better than these items? Why not get into maybe a sub niche of the niche that I have, or maybe you're the massage chair company, but now you're getting into some other types of chairs that might be close, but not as close. Why not add those? Like if you look at Wayfair, it's primarily all drop shipping, but they have a bunch of different niches. although it is kind of all in like the home and kitchen garden-ish type niche is really what they mainly are. So they have a bunch of other sub niches below it. And then other than that, you want to be outsourcing. You want to be hiring people to be listing items for you. You want to be hiring people to be finding suppliers for you, maybe even applying to suppliers for you. Who knows? But that's really what you want to be doing. You always want to be working on your business, not in your business, so that eventually things are running like a fine-tuned, well-oiled machine without you really having to do very much. You always want to be doing something. Don't just say, hey, I got these suppliers, these items are selling well, I'm making money, I'm just going to coast. Because the second you start coasting is when, oh, maybe somebody else comes in and gets on your listings as well. Maybe those listings get a little bit more saturated. They start falling off in sales. Now you wasted those months of whatever when you're just coasting, and now you need to play catch up, and maybe you're not making as much money anymore, and you don't want to stagnate. So that's pretty much that. Like I said, I go inside of my computer and I show even more in-depth examples inside of the free mini course that I made down below in the description and inside of the pinned comment. If not, the video would have been too long for YouTube if I went completely in depth and had it all on YouTube. So that's that. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said, there's many steps to this game, but once you get everything set up, it makes you feel so much more confident in your business than wondering every single day, am I going to get banned on Amazon? Is Amazon going to ban me for retail dropshipping? Is eBay going to ban me or give me an MC011 for this? Or is Facebook just going to ban me on Marketplace for literally no reason, then let me back on, then ban me again, then let me back on? It's getting ridiculous, and I haven't seen it get much better over time. It's still doable, but again, it's something that I've been doing for almost probably 4.5 years now. And eventually, I thought to myself, how much longer am I going to put up with all this BS where I could have spent all this time over the last 4 years fine tuning and making my own store, where then it's in my own brand and it's less likely to get in trouble or banned or this or that over time. And I could have something that I could eventually sell in the future. That's kind of the goal here. So hopefully this video helped. Like I said at the beginning, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. A lot more content on Shopify will be coming out in the future. Check out the free mini course down below. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.